Welcome to A Veil of Crime. I'm Rebecca, your guide through the dark intersections of faith, history, and human cruelty. Tonight, we turn to one of the most haunting and contested stories in the Christian narrative, the Massacre of the Innocents. The Gospel of Matthew claims that upon hearing of the birth of the King of the Jews, King Herod ordered the execution of all male children 2 years old and under in and around Bethlehem. Then Herod, when he saw that he was deceived by the wise men, was exceedingly angry, and he sent forth and put to death all the male children, from 2 years old and under, according to the time which he determined from the wise men. But here's the crime, and outside the gospel, no secular historian records this event. Josephus, the great first-century Jewish historian who documented many of Herod's brutal acts, is silent on the massacre of infants. So, did it happen? Or is it a literary construction layered on prophecy, memory, and a king's terror? The context: Herod's reign of fear. Herod the Great was notorious for paranoia and cruelty. He murdered his wife, executed his sons, and ordered killings of political rivals. Historians describe him as brilliant yet consumed by fear of betrayal. A massacre in a small village like Bethlehem might not have registered in larger records, plausible but unproven. The biblical narrative and theology. Matthew's account mirrors the story of Pharaoh and Moses. The massacre fulfills Jeremiah's prophecy. A voice was heard in Ramah, Rachel weeping for her children. It presents Jesus as the new Moses, a deliverer who escapes death. The story carries deep theological symbolism, connecting prophecy, martyrdom, and divine protection. Historical silence and skepticism. Josephus does not mention the massacre. Many historians argue that it was too minor to document, while others view it as literary allegory. Bethlehem was small, perhaps fewer than 20 male infants under 2. The event, if it occurred, may have been localized, leaving no trace in Roman archives. The forensic reconstruction. The Magi's visit and Herod's fear of a rival king could have triggered a narrow but brutal act of retribution. Small detachments may have been sent to Bethlehem and nearby hamlets. Mothers mourning their lost children would preserve this tragedy through oral memory, passed down and then recorded in gospel form decades later. Why this story endures. The Massacre of the Innocents forces us to face timeless questions. How far will power go to protect itself? Why do the innocent suffer? Herod's crime, whether literal or symbolic, remains a mirror for all regimes that sacrifice truth and compassion for control. We may never prove this story's historicity, but its lesson endures. Paranoia breeds atrocity, and innocence always pays the price. This has been A Veil of Crime. I'm Rebecca. May our search for the truth always honor the voices silenced by fear.